Leon Searcy.
Bringing you love, peace, and soul.
How you like me now? How you like me
Welcome in a Monday after the divisional NFL round of playoffs is complete. Some surprises, yeah, you definitely say that. The availability of perhaps your next head coach sooner rather than later when it comes to Alla Duvall, waiting to see what might happen when it comes to replacing Doug Peterson, because upsets led to openings for, opportunities for coaches to interview earlier than maybe expected. Welcome into some Okama Beer Company Monday. We got Matt Hayes up in Atlanta as we will talk national championship with him as part of his USA Today sports work that he's doing up there. Big Sur has the day off, and I'm alongside Coach Dave Campo as he comes in on a Monday instead of his normal visit on a Tuesday. So, Coach, we got plenty to break down. JJ's ready to crank it out in terms of highlights from the weekend and everything. And we'll keep an eye on what's happening with the head coaching search. But as we start things off, did you have a good weekend? Did you enjoy watching the ball?
Yeah, I actually gave my wife a paper dissolution of the marriage for 4 days. I got a chance to watch a lot of football. It was exciting. The interesting thing, and I'm sure we're going to talk a little bit about it, but the national championship game tonight.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only thing I don't like about the playoffs, because I think them having that national championship game after the division round of the NFL playoffs takes a little luster off it, in my opinion. Now, I know there are true college fans that makes no difference.
Right, true.
But when you look at it, I would have loved to have had the national championship before the division round and then go from there.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, though, the way when they did extend it, when they went from just a game, which was right around New Year's Day, and then obviously they wanted to kick it a little further along, and so it came after Wild Card Weekend, still kind of swallowed up by the NFL. Everything is swallowed up by the NFL.
Right.
That's for sure. And so I do agree with you, though, that it is, okay, let's just do our rundown here real quick. Lamar Jackson, did he fumble away another Super Bowl opportunity? He's yet to win back-to-back playoff games. Josh Allen, the Buffalo Bills, what about that performance? Detroit goes down. Oh, look at Jaden Daniels. Anyway, you get my point.
Yes.
There's storyline after storyline after storyline, and then you go, oh gosh, man, we got to work that Ohio State Notre Dame
right,
thing.
Exactly. And listen, that's going to be a great game, in my opinion, and rightfully so. The national champion is the national champion.
Right.
That's pretty darn good.
Yeah, and so a couple of years ago, TCU got absolutely just mollywopped by Georgia. It was embarrassing, biggest lopsided score that we've ever seen in a national championship game. You go back last year, Washington, in the end, a little outclassed by Michigan, but it was Jim Harbaugh, and you want to talk about storylines, it went from him being crowned national champion to how soon is he going to be heading off to the National Football League. So that also, once again, kind of stole the thunder, or a little bit of luster taken off of the national championship run. But I do think we're going to get into it a bunch. And just, is it possible that Notre Dame can pull off an upset against Ohio State? Of course it is. They have made it this far. But a lot of people and the odds makers agree they don't see Notre Dame winning this game. So we'll get into that one as we go along. So let's start where I think most Jaguar fans care in terms of the games and how they unfolded. We're going to hit them all. It was great to see the Texans lose. That's never a bad day or night. But Pat Mahomes, once again, all he has to do is play one game at home, and he's in a championship game again, 7 straight years, which is just crazy.
It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, he's Mr. Productivity in the postseason.
And the thing that encapsulates him is that play he made when he was falling down and throws a touchdown pass.
Yeah.
That's him.
And let me ask you this, Coach, and you guys can jump in, 641-1010, things that struck you during divisional round playoff weekend. We're going to get into Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn, all the other coaching candidates with the Lions losing. Those two guys definitely are available now sooner rather than later. But jump in, 641-1010. You can hit the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. And we're on YouTube, which is real easy to stream the show and check us out there so you can jump in the chat. But this may have been on the text thread when we were all chatting back and forth. He invites hits. He waits to the last possible second, Pat Mahomes does, to deliver the football. Obviously, he's waiting for guys to come open.
Right.
But in this particular case, Travis Kelce all of a sudden is wide open, and he's falling forward. Like his body's more horizontal than it is vertical when he makes that throw.
The amazing thing about him is exactly what you said.
Mm-hmm.
The play is never over with him until it's over.
Yeah.
Period. Because, people are all over him about what he did on the sideline when he slowed down to try to get a penalty.
Yeah.
They're saying, boy, we're off of the Mahomes. He's a cheater. He's this and that. No, he's a winner.
Yeah.
And he doesn't allow anything to happen without him being in control. Now, does he miss some? Does he, his percentage is not great?
Mm-hmm.
Does he throw a few interceptions because he thinks he can do anything and everything, which he pretty much can?
Right now.
But it's just that the play is never over till it's over with him, period.
The things that I worry about a little bit, X, we all know social media can do anything, anytime. They never really have to fact check anything they say. X can just put it out. But the other part of it is the combination of X and AI. And I saw something that just made me laugh out loud. It was Pat Mahomes making out with the ref.
Yeah.
and I just don't know how they do this stuff, but it looks kind of real. And so he's over there, and they are just we're talking.
They're mugging it up.
Oh my God!
I didn't see that one.
Oh, it made me laugh so much. And so most people think, including the Houston Texans, that they have to beat not only the Kansas City Chiefs, they got to beat the refs along with them. Yeah. And look, with stars comes stars treatment, and he's probably going to get more calls for him as opposed to ones that go against him. But at the same time, he invites contact. He waits to the last possible second to deliver the football. And in the end, he's going to win more of those because every NFL game, the idea that the refs have in their mind is they still have to protect the quarterback, whether it's 15 or whomever it is, right?
Right, correct. And that's, that rightfully so. I think sometimes they pull the trigger, a little too fast or whatever on that. But at the same time, listen, if you don't have a quarterback,
right?
If these playoffs didn't show you how important the quarterback is, nothing will. Yeah. Because if the quarterback executes, you win. Mm-hmm. If the quarterback doesn't, the Detroit Lions, you lose. Yeah. That's it. And that game itself shows how important that quarterback is. And so protecting him is important. And especially with the speed of the defensive linemen and the size of these guys, if they're roughing them up, see somebody's going to get hurt. And it's not going to be the guy doing the roughing. It's the guy that's getting roughed up.
Well, I feel like when you mentioned, the way these guys came into this weekend, Jared Goff was looking to be anointed as a guy that was I think we mentioned a couple different phrases last week, Renaissance men, guys who have resurrected their careers. Sam Darnold was doing that until he ran into the buzzsaw that was the Rams defense Monday night. And so now he goes from great story to there he is again, the same old Sammy. And then Jared Goff, after that, was going to come into this divisional round weekend after the bye week and really start to set the record on how people view him, because he was dealt away from L.A. and sent to Detroit to just basically die a slow NFL death, and nothing was going to come of it. Well, we all know that they've turned into a pretty damn good team. But Jared Goff, I tweeted it out, and we're all on the thread. He turned into Sam Darnold the other night. Yeah. He made way too many mistakes. Was he pressing? Was Ben Johnson trying to be too cool of a play caller? Was the team just itself not used to having to come from behind in a game? There was a lot of things working against the Lions the other night. Yeah, absolutely. And really, when you look at it, that story of the NFL, because in all honesty, he had one of those games earlier in the season. Mm-hmm. It kind of like Trevor Lawrence had a bad game in the playoff game against San Diego, and he came back, not San Diego, the LA Chargers, right? And he came back and won that game, and that's what Goff did on the earlier game. But that doesn't happen all the time. Mm-hmm. He had a bad game, and he had another bad game the other day, and
I think the other thing that it points out is that he was the only quarterback in the Final Four for sure, but mostly in the whole playoffs that doesn't run.
That's true. That is
and
true.
That's an issue in the National Football League today. If I'm looking at a guy that I'm going to draft as a quarterback, if he can't move, I'm not taking him. I don't care how good he looks. Now, in the old days, you could get away with it.
Sure.
Because the defenses weren't as fast as they are now. When we were with the Cowboys and we brought the speed into the defenses in the National Football League, that's why we won. Because nobody else had speed, we get to the quarterback. Well, in this day and age, all these guys can get to the quarterback. Well, maybe just the Jaguars can't get to the quarterback. But every other team can get to the quarterback.
Yeah.
And the quarterback has to be able to move and make some plays on his own.
Yeah. And so the skill set that Jaden Daniels represents is exactly what you want. He's a dream come true because not only does he take off and run, he only runs when he has to, and he makes big throws. Look at the completion percentage that he had in the postseason in big ball games. And then you go to Josh Allen. Josh Allen can take off and move when he needs to, but he also didn't need to use his arm nearly as much in this last game as maybe people thought he was going to have to.
Well, and then you look at Stroud, he's the same way. You look at Ben Nix, he's the same way.
Yeah.
Those guys all can move. They're not stand up. Ben Nix, he was our security director in Dallas. I got a little nervous. He's an ex-FBI agent, so I was thinking about the inauguration today and all this stuff going on. Bo Nix.
Yeah.
They all those quarterbacks can move to a certain extent.
Yeah, and this is the conversation you, me, Sirs, Matty had last week, and I've been kind of zeroing in on this. I want Trevor to use his legs more because he represents that type of guy that you're talking about, a guy with size, with speed, with the ability to deliver the big throw, but then also when he decides to use his legs and take off, he can make things happen. And I hope that whoever it is that comes in here is that they're saying, Trev, come on, man, there's a little untapped potential here. You haven't done everything with your skill set that the big man above gave you to play this game.
Yeah, one of the things you have to, realize as well, though, is that some of that running is instincts. It's not there. Boom, I'm out.
Yeah.
And the good ones, that's Lamar. That's, guys like.
And what Josh Allen has become.
Yeah, that's who he is, And, some of it is like Stroud. He's not a running quarterback, but his instincts are to get out of there when he has to. And Trevor's been a little slow in that area. That's an area that has to be cultivated and worked on. Josh Allen's he's a different cat. I mean, they design runs for him.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. And he's better at that than he is actually throwing. But when he has to throw, he can do that too.
Well, it's funny. You take a look at these numbers from yesterday, and Lamar Jackson. We all talked about it that from week 1 until this past week against the Pittsburgh Steelers, he did not have as many design runs. He decided, or they added more design runs for him last week against Pittsburgh. And then, lo and behold, he comes into this game, and they don't run him nearly enough. You want to talk about frustrating, man? That fired me up because that is Lamar. That's the essence of what he does. He freaks you out defensively, where you've got to defend him, and he can make that break your ankle type of move on you, and yet it did not happen. So let's set up this next seg. We're going to say hello to Matt Hayes, we hope, up in Atlanta, but we're going to stay on the divisional playoff games. Who is Lamar Jackson? He's yet to win back-to-back playoff games. You can blame Mark Andrews for a big part of that loss last night. But Lamar Jackson, once again, had a horrible pass that was picked off, played in a scramble mode with the ball very loose in his hands, coughs it up. These are the things that drive you batty. He's about to probably earn his 3rd NFL MVP, yet he can't win back-to-back playoff games. Yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah, it is. And the guys that go in the Hall of Fame and all those guys are the guys that can play the big ones. And Dak Prescott's going through the same thing with the Cowboys. Dak Prescott can win everything but the big one.
Right.
And so, then you look back at some of the guys like Josh Allen. That's the only time he plays really well is when it's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, Mahomes, Josh Allen. Listen, it's interesting because social media, X and all these other things that are out there, TikTok, whatever these things are, I don't know anything about. But Lamar Jackson is one of the best 3 quarterbacks in the National Football League, period.
Yeah.
And we got guys coming on there saying he stinks in social media. No. He had a bad game.
Yeah.
For him.
And he still, even though he made those mistakes, he still put them in position to make plays to force overtime. And Mark Andrews, for his part in this, not only the fumble, not only the drop, but also earlier wide open for one of the big drives early and did not haul in the ball. Those are meaningful plays. So anyway, we'll get into it. We'll tie all this back to your Jacksonville Jaguars as far as what's going to happen now. Is the coaching search accelerated now that there's some openings with surprise losses like the Detroit Lions, and Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson can be interviewed in person this week? We'll get into all that coming up. Talk about your national championship game tonight in college football. And Mocama Beer Company Monday, we say thanks to them. You can find them up in beautiful Fernandina Beach right there on South 8th Street, just as you're entering the historic part. And then also Wildlight, that just bursting community right there in Nassau County as well. 2 locations up there. And then on the shelves at Total and ABC, make sure you check out Mocama Beer Company. So NFL Divisional, Jaguars head coaching search, and college football national championship.
Dan Hicken.
What's your blood type? Let's be positive, just like my life outlook.
Jeff Prosser.
Guy who calls himself the bad boy of mini golf.
Together they are The Drill.
I don't even know what that means.
No one knows what it means, but it's provocative.
Mornings on 1010XL.
Do the Garber wiggle, 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 Garber wiggle.
It's the time of year all our customers love. At Garber Auto Mall, every 2024 must go. Take advantage of thousands in discounts on all new Chevy, Buick, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and Ford. Visit us in Green Cove Springs or at GarberAutomall.com. And remember, at Garber Auto Mall, there's always a little room for wiggle.
Garber wiggle, Garber wiggle, 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 Garber wiggle.
Epic offers. Factory direct pricing on AC equipment from Epic Cool Heating and Air. Call 904-859-EPIC. Epic discounts for military, police, first responders, and 1010 listeners like you. Epic Cool Heating and Air.
Jacksonville. When AEW returns home, it is the biggest party in all of professional wrestling.
Daily's Place, the home of AEW.
And on Saturday, January 25th, Collision returns live. It's a new year and a whole new era in AEW, and there's no better time to experience the excitement than right now. AEW Collision Homecoming, live from Daily's Place in Jacksonville, Florida. Tickets on sale now, starting at $20 at AEWTIX.com.
The big game is almost here, and Sonny's Barbecue wants you to win a barbecue feast. Text Sonny's to the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Flooring at 641-1010 for your chance to win. 641-1010.
Find Florida Gators basketball on 1010XL. Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson, the official window and door replacement partner of the Florida Gators. And by Farrah and Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Matt Hayes here for Prize Picks. Download the app today and use code JAX to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's promo code JAX to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game.
Get closer to nature.
Trying to get close to these bucks out here.
Jeff Lageman, Captain Kevin Faber, and Captain Kirk Waltz. The Nimnicht Outdoor Show, presented by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. Saturday morning, 7 to 10 on 1010XL.
Morning, Paula.
Morning, Ron.
Another day in Adminville, am I right?
What are you working on? Oh!
You okay?
Your tabs. You have so many open.
Yeah, gotta order lunch for the big client meeting. With great responsibility comes tabs.
I can help. Close all those tabs and open just one, EasyCater.com. Online ordering from local restaurants, plus tools to save time, stay on budget, track expenses.
One tab to rule them all.
EasyCater, the smarter way to order food for work. Order now at EasyCater.com.
Hey,
Hey, it's Angela and Brian Wall. How many companies do you know in this day and age that actually want their potential customers to call their competition and get quotes from them?
That's what WonderWorld wants you to do. WonderWorld knows there are other window companies out there, but we also know those other guys. When compared to WonderWorld, they can't offer you the quality at the price that WonderWorld can.
And with WonderWorld, you get the absolute best guarantee there is in the window replacement business.
If anything goes wrong with your new WonderWorld windows, 5 years from now, 10, 15, 50, WonderWorld and I will be there to fix it for you. You get peace of mind with WonderWorld, and to top it off, WonderWorld windows increase the value of your home. So look what you get with WonderWorld. Quality windows, low price, the best guarantee in the business, energy savings, and an increase in the value of your home. A win-win for you.
Call WonderWorld today and get your free in-home estimate or see them online at WonderWorldNEFlorida.com.
WonderWorld, simply the best for less. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. Before termites attack your home or business and cause costly damage, Terminix it. Terminix stops termites in my home fast. These destructive pests may have been around for millions of years, but before they show up, so does Terminix. And their time is up. Don't live with a termite problem. I certainly wasn't going to. Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com. Terminix.com.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. Are you tired of wrestling with your old shower curtain? Then say goodbye to the curtain chaos and hello to a new frameless shower enclosure. Wago Glass is clear, classy, and won't stick to you like a toddler at bedtime. Plus, it makes your bathroom look bigger and brighter. Upgrade your shower experience and step into style. Call me at Baker Glass and get ready to love your new glass shower enclosure. Baker Glass, no one treats you better.
Bull riding. The perfect fusion of strength, skill, and pure willpower. Professional bull riders aren't just athletes. They're daredevils with cowboy souls. Come experience the true modern West, where 8 seconds of glory will create a lifetime of memories. It's the Michelob Ultra PBR Jacksonville at ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena, February 22nd and 23rd. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.com and PBR.com. Hold on tight. The ride of your life is about to begin.
Ring in the new year with a new boat. Don't miss the Jacksonville Boat Show, January 24th, 25th, and 26th at the Prime Osborne Convention Center. Presented by ViStar Credit Union. Tickets at BoatJacks.com. Come buy a boat.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line.
Hello.
We can wiggle it.
All right, our man, part of XL Primetime and also part of USA Today Sports, Matty Hayes joins us now normally in this studio where it is kind of warm. Nice, warm, toasty afternoon in the studio as opposed to up in the ATL where it's how cold, Matt?
17, Joe. It's a crisp, clear, beautiful day, and there's a game tonight.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's indoors. You don't have to worry about freezing.
It's a great day, Joe.
Yeah?
It's a great day.
Yeah. You don't have to worry about freezing your fanny off indoors like they did up in Philadelphia and up in Buffalo. Philadelphia, man, that was some unbelievable snow when it was all said and done. All right, we're going to talk national championship, but we have been talking about those games. I just thought, just real quick on the NFL, Matt, obviously, Detroit shocked us all. Washington maybe shocked us more because they were able to beat the behemoth that was Motown. And then what happened last night, Lamar Jackson, just not all his fault, but a big part of it was his fault that they couldn't overcome and lose again. He's yet to win 2 playoff games in a row.
I mean, at the end of the day, Mark Andrews got to catch that ball.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't blame El Boogie for that. I mean, stuff happens in games. He got him to the point where they could tie the game, and Mark Andrews dropped the ball. I don't see that way at all. I think stuff happens, and they were there. The game was there to be taken. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that that's what everybody will talk about now is, wow, El Boogie couldn't get it done. Mm-hmm. And I don't agree with that at all.
Matt, this is Camps. When you look at those games, and by the way, on the picks, which you always say that I'm on top of all the time, You were 4-0, my man. I just want you to know that. So you knew something about knew something about what's going on.
You're only 30 games under 500.
Exactly.
No. And listen. He's a new sheriff. He's a new sheriff in town after these playoff games.
Squirrel, man.
But answer me this: what do you think of the Washington Redskins when you look at them?
Just a team that we talked about this Friday, Dave. We always talk about playing with house money. I mean, they don't care. They got a young quarterback who's having fun. They're having fun. You said this Friday, anybody that's in the tournament thinks they can win the tournament. And I just think they're playing with a lot of want and a lot of emotion. And I know we talk about that all the time. Oh, it's overrated. It's not emotion. It's about, doing your job. And I agree with all that too. But, man, when you've got that want and you want it bad and you mix that talent and you mix that emotion with it, it's a dangerous concoction. And that's what they look like right now.
All right, so let's talk national championship tonight. The line is certainly – it's not really moved a whole heck of a lot in the favor of the Buckeyes, more than a touchdown favorite to win another natty. If they do, it's their third in the 21st century. We will now have, at the very least, Matt, a new national championship winning head coach that's walking the sidelines in college football, because what are we down to now? 3? That's it. So what set up the game for us tonight?
Well, first off, I don't know about if Ohio State wins, he may not be walking the sidelines of college football for long. I can tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
I think what we're looking at is a very talented team in Ohio State, which we talked about the entire year. They're the best. They're the most talented team in the country. It's just a matter of could they put it together. Could they get comfortable with Will Howard? And they clearly have. I love the way Notre Dame's playing. I love their toughness. I talked earlier about want and will, and they have it, man. They're playing so hard and so focused in this playoff. I don't think you can disregard them. That doesn't mean they're going to win the game. I'm just telling you, look, I get it. Ohio State's the more talented team. Ohio State should win the game. But this is the team right now, Notre Dame team, that's playing really well on defense, that's playing smart on defense. And Riley Leonard gives them big plays when they need it in the pass game. If they can keep doing that and get the game to the fourth quarter, I mean, how many times have we seen it? How many times have we seen games get into the fourth quarter, especially in this type of environment where, stuff happens that you never thought would?
Let me ask you this. You know how I feel that in the big games, in the championship games, the team that plays the best defense is going to win. How do you compare the two defenses?
Very similar. I mean, Ohio State's defense is the number one rated defense in the nation, the number one scoring defense in the nation. So, I mean, they're elite. There's no getting around that. And they have been throughout the playoff as well. I look at Notre Dame, though, and I see a team that really has ratcheted up not only the last month of the regular season, but in the playoffs. They've really played well. They played fantastic against Indiana. They played fantastic against Georgia. They got what they had to do in the fourth quarter against Penn State. Yeah, it's difficult. I'm telling you right now, it's difficult to overlook this team the way they're playing defensively. That, to me, as much as anything, is a story early on in this game. Can they hold up defensively against what Ohio State's going to throw at them?
It's an 8.5 point line, and I think most people think that Ohio State has blossomed into this behemoth, and you're not going to be able to take them down. And it doesn't appear right now that there are serious offensive playmakers sans Riley Leonard and Jeremiah Love. There are guys on the edge that can make plays. But last year, Matt, this was a 3-point game in South Bend. And the Fighting Irish almost picked them off. So what is Marcus Freeman going to draw on? Because I think he's got the potential defensively to rattle Will Howard a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's what they've got to do. You've got to affect the quarterback. And, I say this all the time in big games. It's affect the quarterback, protect the quarterback. And I don't know that Ohio State can consistently protect Riley Leonard. That's going to be an issue. Excuse me. Can they get to Will Howard? Can they affect the way they're running that offense? Chip Kelly said they kind of saved a lot of stuff because they knew it was going to be a long season. And then when they realized, the loss of Michigan game, then they're looking at, all right, we got to win 4 games to win this thing.
Mm-hmm.
But he said this game, this moment, everything in the playbook is available. Everything. So they're going to unload it. We'll see what happens.
I think that's a real big point, because I really think that looking back at Ohio State against Michigan, I think Chip was trying to force the run too much, and since then he's opened it up. And I think that's what makes Ohio State really dangerous, because they have some firepower. And I think he's calling a little bit better game right now than he did back early in the season.
Right. I completely agree with you, Dave. And I mean, there's no doubt that what they did against Michigan failed spectacularly. They literally ran right into the strength of the Michigan defense, and it failed over and over. And I don't know if it was because they wanted to prove they were tougher, or because that was Ryan Day's idea or mantra from the beginning of the season that they were going to be a tougher team. But I think they realized, okay, this is what we've done at Ohio State for the last, 9 years since Ryan Day got there as an offensive coordinator. They throw the ball better than anyone. Before last year when Kyle McCord started, his quarterbacks averaged 41 touchdown passes a season, Dave. That's insane.
Yeah.
And I think they got back to it in the playoffs, and they're starting to throw the ball deep. They have seven plays of 30 yards or more, pass plays, in the playoffs. The ball's going downfield. He went from averaging 5.3 yards per attempt against Michigan to 10.6 in the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So they're getting it downfield.
I'm looking at Ohio State. We got a couple more for Matt Hayes. You can follow him at Matt Hayes CFB. And, of course, check out his stuff at USA Today Sports. We'll have him back in studio tomorrow. But I'm thinking of Ohio State.
Maybe.
We'll see
if I can get through the snow, Joe. Maybe.
Yeah. By the way, you've got the blizzard coming right in here into Duval. So you're the weatherman as well as a sports guy. So you go back to the Texas-Ohio State game. 2 massive plays, all right? The 14-point swing with the scoop and score from Jack Sawyer. That was, we all know how big that was. They had first and goal, didn't get it done. They end up coughing up the football, and Ohio State takes it the other way. You go back to before the half, Travion Henderson on a screen pass is suddenly Texas couldn't defend. Anyway, those were 2 big plays that ended up being the difference, 28-14. Buckeyes have outscored their opponent 111-52 in these 3 college football playoff games. So they've erupted for big points. But those 2 big plays, Matt, if Marcus Freeman defensively can make sure they're buttoned up, who knows, we may have us a game.
Joe, the problem is you've got 5 guys that can touch the ball in Ohio State and score at any time.
Yes.
You got Judkins, you got Henderson, you got Smith, you got Ibuka, and you've got Tate.
Yeah.
All 5 of those guys, if they catch the ball in space, forget it.
Very true.
Forget it. That's the problem I think that Notre Dame's looking at. You can game plan it, but if you have one misfit in the run game, or if you have one blown coverage, and Dave can speak to this, forget it, man. Like in the NFL, you can get away with that. It'll end up being like a 15 to 20-yard gain. In college football, you have a misfit or you blow coverage, gone. Big play.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think one of the things, and I'm not a Notre Dame fan, so the one thing that Notre Dame does have is they have 3 corners that are pretty darn good cover guys. And that's why their defense is able to do what they do.
They close so fast.
Yeah. Now, I've got one.
I think Golden's done it. Dave, Golden's done an unbelievable job. It's the understory of the entire tournament. He's just you haven't heard anything from him. The work he's done on that defense and the way they cover and the way they're always in position, not only in coverage, but also in run defense as well. They don't make mistakes. I think that's what's been so impressive.
Yeah. Okay, my last question is this. How'd that hound dog handle the drive up there of yours?
Oh, he's fine, man. He was sitting in the back, didn't say a word. He'll be fine. He'll be fine with the snow, too. No big deal.
All right,
it's all good.
As we say goodbye, and I know there are plenty of people that are leaning on the Ohio State side of this, and there's every reason to. It's nuts. These 2 teams have played each other. This is a saucy. They've played each other 9 times, and we're talking 2 of the most storied programs in college football history. They've played each other 9 times. The last time Notre Dame beat Ohio State was 19-36.
Oh.
Saucy Nugs.
Oh.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
FDR was in office, okay, the last time they beat them. And so it's just nuts when you think about it. So it would be monumental, to say the least, if Marcus Freeman
Let me just say
and the
this,
Irish
Joe.
can go.
On this absolutely glorious day of ours, okay, in the 20th day of January in the year of our Lord, 2025, The college football playoff in their first 12 game format couldn't have asked for a better situation. You've got literally the two biggest brands in collegiate sports playing in the national championship game.
Yeah.
So they're pumped. This will be the biggest television rating of any playoff game ever. And if it goes to the fourth quarter and it's a tight game, it'll do record numbers.
Well, they need it because the first couple of weeks of the CFP viewership not anywhere near where it should have been, and the SEC would disagree with you on the big brands, but we'll find out how it goes tonight. All right, man. Enjoy it. We hope we have us a good game tonight, and we will see you mañana.
Okay, brother.
Stay warm. Stay warm, bud.
All right, Matt, up there in the ATL, and you take a look at the numbers, the TV ratings dropped 17.5% in the 12-team format. So not what they were hoping for, but they might get it tonight. They're still getting just gobs and gobs of eyeballs. Overall, they're averaging close to 20 million viewers, but it's just tough when you see some of the blowouts, which is what we saw.
Well, I think the problem is, and I think they're going to start tweaking things a little bit as they go, obviously, because it's brand new.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're kind of psychologically with the Alabamas and the whether they weren't in the playoff.
Right.
They lost a few games, but everybody wants to see those big boys play, and that's why all the talk about consolidating, football into the top 50 teams and having a major conference with the
Super
top
D1,
people.
yeah,
whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of it, and I think they'll look a little bit on whether or not the automatic into the playoffs, a little bit like the AFC South automatically in the tournament in the NFL.
Yeah.
Guess what? They won one. Houston won one in the playoffs. So I think there's some positive and negative, but I can see, when you get a team in there that's not quite the same level.
All right, give us what you think. As far as the game goes tonight, 641-1010, 1936, the last time Notre Dame beat Ohio State. That is just nuts. So it's approaching a century, and who knows, maybe that will be one of the storylines coming out of tonight if Notre Dame can stay with Ohio State. Back to the NFL divisional round, back to the coaching chatter that's out there right now on a Mocama Beer Company Monday.
Your radio highlight reel.
Caught for the touchdown.
1010XL, home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Cannonball!
Honey, someone's in our pool.
Oh, refreshing.
John, what are you doing?
Oh, hey, Dave. Seeing as how me and the guys at Clearwater Irrigation reinstalled your sprinklers after the pool contractor ripped it out, I thought you wouldn't mind if I took a quick dip.
But in a Jaguar print Speedo?
Yeah, Dave. My bad. Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage, too.
Mia here for MyBookie. It's win or go home. The NFL playoffs are the ticket to the biggest game of the year, and all roads lead to New Orleans. The NCAA playoffs will set the stage, but this is your chance to get in on every high-stakes moment along the way. Your road to New Orleans starts now with MyBookie. MyBookie is the ultimate destination for bettors who want more, whether you're betting the underdogs or riding with the favorites. Every drive, every touchdown, every moment is an opportunity to win big. Kick off your 2025 right with risk-free Thursdays. Place a bet, and if it doesn't hit, MyBookie has your back. Dive into the Bet Boost tab to supercharge your picks and build that bankroll before the big game. And when the games are over, the action does not stop, folks. MyBookie's online casino keeps the excitement going 24/7. Blackjack, roulette, slots, it's all there. Whether you're celebrating a big win or gearing up for the next round. Haven't joined yet? Now's the time. Use promo code 1010XL on your first deposit, and MyBookie will hook you up with an instant bonus because you deserve to start the year off right.
AA Automotive helps keep your vehicle in dependable and safe condition. Call Sam, Harry, or Joe, and they'll check your brakes, tires, fluids, electric, and motor, so your ride runs smooth on the road. That's AA Automotive on Richard Street.
If you suffer from constant burning, tingling, or numbness in your hands or feet, it could be a serious condition called neuropathy. I'm Dr. Nathan Riddle, DC with Riddle Wellness in Ponte Vedra. Neuropathy is treatable, and we have seen great results by using state-of-the-art, non-invasive therapies to target damaged nerves, reduce symptoms, and improve nerve function. Call 904-395-5598 to schedule your free consultation today and learn how you can live pain-free. Call 904-395-5598. 395-5598.
Start the new year with a fresh look for your home. It's the Renewal by Andersen New Year's sales event. For a limited time, save 20% off on our energy-efficient windows and patio doors designed to keep your home comfortable year-round and your energy bills down. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation. But hurry, the special New Year's offer won't last. License number CGC 1527613.
If you're ready to transform your yard with a fence that stands out, elevate your curb appeal with Superior Fence and Rail. Superior takes pride in offering first-class service, friendly installers, and unmatched fence products. Mention this ad and get $250 off your next project. It's time to get off the fence and call today.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Homeowners, listen up. It's time to start fresh in 2025. Prosser here, and Loan Pronto is here to help take control of your finances in 2025 by lowering your house payments and consolidating that nagging debt. Did you know that 9 out of 10 borrowers get a better deal by calling Loan Pronto? Right now, Loan Pronto has some of the most competitive offers for refis, debt consolidation, and purchase loans, starting in the low 5s APR. If your current rate is over 6%, don't settle for paying too much. Even if you're in process with another lender, call Loan Pronto now. Lock in at a lower rate today and close in as little as 2 weeks, often with no appraisal. You can even skip your next 2 house payments. It's fast, easy, and hassle-free. Get your personalized Loan Pronto rate quote instantly with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees. Call now, 904-999-1508, or go to loanpronto.com. That's 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLS consumeraccess.org.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On January 20th, 1967, Philadelphia 76ers Wilt Chamberlain makes all 15 of his field goal attempts in a win over the Lakers to set the NBA record for consecutive shots made.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Pacifico is brewed for those who let go of the things that don't matter and hold on to the ones that do. That's living life anchors up.
Pacifico, found in Baja, imported by surfers. Ask for a Pacifico when you're ready to live life anchors up.
Pacifico is a crisp golden lager, brewed for those who know. It's what's behind a label that matters.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So we got to talk coaching search and where this team might be and where the other teams that want the same guy might be. This is Jonathan Jones, and really a couple of reports came out from the NFL on CBS. One quote said the Raiders are going to make a big push in the coming days to land Ben Johnson, lead NFL insider Jonathan Jones on that one. And then he followed it with Johnson is a candidate with the Raiders, Jags, and Bears. A lot of talk this morning about him and Chicago. Wheels really beginning to turn today across the coaching landscape. So
that just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Sorry, Joe.
No, follow that.
But just to add on to that, yes, Josina Anderson with a very similar wording on this one, developing their league sources who now believe Ben Johnson is deeply considering the head coaching vacancy with the Chicago Bears per league sources. Nothing is official. Which seemingly came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it did, because it's funny because we have whenever Tom Brady entered the conversation with Vegas coach, we knew that he was enamored with the idea of bringing Ben Johnson to Vegas. the Rap Sheet, the Schefters, and shoot, you can throw Josina and others in there in that pile where they were all trying to keep track of this. And then Albert Breer and a couple of others came out and said Jacksonville certainly is one that don't think that Ben Johnson's not intrigued with the idea of coming to Duval. Anyway, the Bears weren't mentioned hardly at all. And they blow out Matt Eberflus, who you know, and they want to make sure they get a good offensive mind for Caleb Williams and company to succeed. That would be pulling the rug out from underneath the Duval if Chicago were to get him.
Well, I think all three of them are in the picture with him. I mean, at this point right now, he hasn't interviewed in person with anybody.
True.
So, this is going to be a little bit of a difference right here when he goes into the building, because now it becomes a combination of you interviewing them and them interviewing you.
Right.
So that's a little bit different. And I think the one thing he's got an advantage in Chicago is he knows the division. And I think that's part of it. That's part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really going to come down to, who offers him the best opportunity to be successful. And really, to be honest with you, I know somebody that has the same agent as Ben Johnson. I think I mentioned it last week, not on air. But they said, well, it looks like he's going to Vegas. So I don't think anybody knows for sure, but I will say that it's going to come down to, number one, who's going to offer him for sure, because you don't know that either. And to be honest with you, it's who can put the best staff together. And I go back as being that one of the major decisions, because in my time with the Cowboys as a head coach, I couldn't pick my own staff. And you got to have your staff. Yeah. And if you look at the clubs that have been successful, the Harbaughs, they've got their own people in there, and they know the people that they want to make the football team look like they want it to. So I'll tell you what, I don't know where he's going, but obviously the good thing is that he can go quicker than some of those other guys. And if he's the number one guy, that opens it up for other people to make their decisions.
Yeah. And so once you get that first to drop, whoever is able to strike first, and if they consider Ben Johnson gold, if they're the first one to discover it and get him locked up, well, then some other dominoes will start to fall. The Liam Cohen discussion from Tampa Bay up here, the word that travels around the NFL circles is that he had a great interview. They were impressed. He was impressed, so on and so forth. And so Liam Cohen has done a good job down in Tampa Town, but Dave Canales also did a decent job with Baker, helped revive Baker. Baker turned a major corner this year, and they definitely had an exciting and fun offense to watch. They ran the football quite a bit. Bucky Irvin looked like Warrick Dunn reincarnated. The guy it was just crazy to watch how he was able to ascend into that starter's role, basically take over Rashard White's bulk of the carries, and then just become just a budding little superstar down there. Late draft pick, and they went and turned him into something pretty good. But they ran the ball with him. Obviously, Baker has the complementary weapons, and especially Mike Evans, when you got a guy like that you're throwing to every single game, Hall of Famer like that, that's all good. But if he were to come up here, or if Ben Johnson were to walk in, or who many of the other play callers that we're talking about, it's all about trying to figure out the best way to unlock and unleash the potential of Trevor Lawrence here.
Yeah, and I think a big part of that, which you've heard me say before, is that I believe that the guys that they have, it's a diverse group of interviews that the Jaguars have had, okay? And I don't know who number one is. But all of the guys, as I look at them, whether they're defensive guys, which I lean towards, because they understand the importance of the front on both sides, the offensive line and the defensive line. Or it looks like the coordinators they have involved understand that running the football is extremely important, and I believe that's what's going to unlock the best of Trevor Lawrence. So in my mind, whether it's Ben Johnson, listen, you could get all intrigued. He's very innovative, which is fantastic. One of his inventions probably was involved in losing the football game when he ran that double reverse. Sometimes those innovators don't do as well as the guys that line up and go play football. And so, but I do think that the group that they have interviewed are diverse, and they all have that we need to win up front in order to win.
I know most of y'all know exactly what Coach is talking about. It was a reverse pass. Jamison Williams from their side of the field heaves it into a defender's hands. It was easily picked off, and at the first I was sideways because I had a long bet on the Detroit Lions to make it to the Super Bowl. You guys know how much I love the Honolulu Blue. I'm thinking to myself, why are you letting Jamison Williams throw the football? I'm thinking, well, Jared Goff isn't doing much better right now because he just all of a sudden was throwing it to the other guy way too much as well. He had Jamison wide open in the back of the end zone and let a defender cross in front of him for another easy pick. But, yeah, did Bid Johnson try and get too cute? The same thing you might say about Todd Monken last year when they had the number one rushing team in Baltimore and they didn't run the football enough against Kansas City. You might even say it again this go around.
That's
he
true.
didn't run the football enough. So these coordinators, they probably do either outthink themselves or the old paralysis by analysis may take place.
You know, I don't. There is two things that I don't like, that I don't get real excited about. One is officials. I never saw an official that I really liked. Number two, offensive coaches.
Yeah.
I never found one. I like them, but I never loved any of them because they're a little bit statistic-oriented for me. Now, I'm not making a pick. And I don't know what direction they're going to go, but I do know that if they're going to, I believe that Trevor Lawrence is the key. And to me, the key is don't make him throw the ball 50 times in a game.
Yeah.
Make sure that you're balanced enough and that your run game is good enough, not just balanced, good enough to make the defense worry about what's coming next.
Yeah. If I would have told you, and this is what blows your mind, if I would have told you that Josh Allen is barely going to throw for 125 yards, he's going to, the top rusher for the team is going to have 67 total yards. The top receiver is going to have less than 70 total yards, and they're going to beat El Boogie and Derrick Henry and the Ravens 27-25. I never, ever would have imagined that would have been the stat line. Josh Allen averaged 2 yards per carry. He ran it 10 times for 20 yards. And yet they did not have to throw the football.
Correct.
They were able to control it. They were able to take advantage of mistakes, obviously, and they win the football game.
Yeah, what they do and did was they ran the ball enough, he took the profit enough, and then when they got inside the 10-yard line, he took control.
Yeah.
That's how they won the football, and they played good defense. They played pretty good defense. Yeah. I mean, they got after the Lamar a little bit, and they didn't let him escape all that much, which is key.
Yeah, because if you take a look at his rushing, he ran it 6 times for 39 yards, decent average, but you were expecting Lamar to engineer a few more design runs where he can really put a stress on a defense, and he did not do enough of that. At least I don't think he did.
And they slowed down the diesel.
Yeah.
You know, that's in that game.
Yeah,
he didn't break away.
But he did have a couple
he had good runs. Don't get me wrong. I mean, they ran the ball pretty decent, really. But that's why I like Monken in some ways. I'm not sure that Lamar ran the ball enough. But I thought he ran the ball as much as he could during the game.
Derrick Henry, 16 carries, 84 yards, just over 5 yards per carry. Yeah. Had one, the long was 17 yards, and he was bruising them a little bit. I felt like they probably should have done it a little bit more, especially when you're talking about a possession type of game where every one of them was so dang important, and it was just the crippling mistakes that were made.
Right.
Lamar using the football as a crutch, and then it pops out of his hands. And then Mark Andrews, a decent catch, but then the ball pops right out of his hands. And I'll just admit it. I told you guys I had 2 bets, long bets, made them in September. Picked the Ravens to go to the Super Bowl, picked the Lions to go to the Super Bowl. Those were my preseason Super Bowl picks. I put them in, put the number in. I was loving my position. Thought I was going to be in a great spot.
My question to you is, are you cured?
No.
Absolutely not.
No way. It's that one hurt. Both of them hurt. That's for sure. The only good news out of the Detroit Lions losing is that maybe they might have their future head coach here in Duval with Ben Johnson or Aaron Glenn for that matter. And Aaron Glenn did not have a very good defense. But if you're looking at him individually, the personality, who I know you like the personality of what you think he might be able to bring to a
Yeah, and again, just remember one thing. I saw the internet on that. They're all, we spoke about it earlier. Yeah. All of a sudden, the luster's off of Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn. That's the social media, the fans, etc. Sure. Remember, Dan Quinn lost his last game in Dallas, got 48 hung on.
Yeah, got smoked.
So it's not about the game; it's about the games and long term, body of work when it comes down to making that decision. There's a lot more involved in it. And we've talked about that a lot. There's a lot more involved in it than just because you're a good play caller.
Oh, yeah.
On offense or defense. Right. It's about leadership. It's about, how you react, how you put your staff together, how you handle adversity, how you attack a ball game and farm preparation, time management. All those things are important.
All right, let's head into the 3 o'clock hour, a little time management as we make room for Denny Thompson, the quarterback whisperer, a Mokama Beer Company Monday. We'll talk about the national championship game tonight, both of those quarterbacks, and, of course, the quarterbacks that start. The highest money-making quarterbacks in the National Football League, none of them were part of this past weekend. We will get into that coming up on XL Primetime.
Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. It's playoff time. It's now or never. Don't miss out on the last few weeks of football action with PrizePicks, the best place to win cash while watching the playoffs. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in award winnings, PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. The app is really simple to use. Pick 2 or more players across any sport, pick more or less on their projection, and you can win up to 1,000 times your money. PrizePicks now offers MasterCard for quick and easy deposits into your account for this season. Join PrizePicks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app, available to play in more than 40-plus states, including California and Texas. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code JAX, J-A-X, to get $50 instantly when you play 5. That's code JAX on PrizePicks. $50 instantly when you play 5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks. Run your game.
Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
This is Hayes Carlion for Physician Guided Weight Loss. I need help losing weight. I'm older and I don't have the discipline needed. Luckily, I discovered Physician Guided Weight Loss. Their amazing technology, fast setup, friendly staff, and proven results sold me. They can help you too, and it's affordable with firm pricing, so no rising costs as you go. If you're like me and looking to kick off the new year with a leaner body, call Physician Guided Weight Loss at 257-4344. That's 257-4344.
New Year's resolutions. But let's be honest, by February, that gym membership is just a $50 a month guilt trip.
So why not take that cash and finally fix your leaky faucet, unclog that drain, or tune up your AC?
Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning has your back. Start the year fresh. No leaks, no clogs, no excuses.
It's a resolution you'll actually keep.
Call Duck Rooter at 904-862-6769 today. Because when you're stuck, call the Duck. Right now, get $50 off any service of $150 or more.
Facing a DUI charge or even a boating under the influence charge? Well, I'm your man, DUI lawyer Malcolm Anthony at 285-4LAW. 285-4LAW. Once again, 285-4LAW.
Mia here. It's the Everything's on sale going on now at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. Get $0 down and just $288 per month for a pre-owned 2022 Toyota Corolla. Or you choose a pre-owned 2021 Camry, RAV4, or Tacoma for $0 down and only $388 per month. Or how about no payments till July 2025? And you get 60 days to love your purchase or exchange it. Shop the Everything's on Sale at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned today. 10939 Atlantic Boulevard at arlingtontoyota.com.
1010XL is the home of Gator Nation and the Gator Bites podcast presented by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. I'm Hacker, and we keep you connected with the University of Florida all year long. Get Gator Bites where you find podcasts.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and when you head into a brand new year with a boat show coming up, you've got a lineup of Honda and Coach pontoon boats that you want people to know about.
We do. We've got them in stock. It might still be a little chilly, but it's never too soon to start thinking about your next boat. We are going to be at the boat show January 24 to 26. You can come see us there. If you can't make it to our showroom, come see us at the boat show.
All sorts of ideas and opportunities to enjoy fun on the water with Cycles of Jacksonville. You can log on and check them out, or head to the showroom and be at the boat show.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Instant Keys saves the day if you have lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call 722-1111.
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
At the First Coast YMCA, you'll find much more than just a gym. We offer many ways to help you be active, reach weight loss goals, and find your inner strength while you connect with your community. Family memberships at the Y include unlimited group exercise classes, childcare while you work out, and youth sports participation. It's easy to join the Y and affordable for all. Plus, the Y is a great place to meet a new circle of friends. Visit the Y near you or online at fcymca.org.
When it comes to towing products, your safety is the priority at Cannons of Jacksonville. Cannons has decades of experience to ensure your towing setup is installed with precision and reliability. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, your trusted partner for a smoother tow.
When looking for a firearm, you want knowledge of product, a fair price, and of course, a quick process. Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jack's Beach is always stocked with brand new firearms and the quickest in and out times this side of the ditch. BeachesJewelryandPawn.com.
Ring in the new year with a new boat. Don't miss the Jacksonville Boat Show, January 24th, 25th, and 26th at the Prime Osborne Convention Center. Presented by ViStar Credit Union. Tickets at BoatJacks.com. Come buy a boat.
I'm Max Fink, here with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update, brought to you by First Coast YMCA. It was a very unfortunate weekend for the Magic, losing to the Celtics Friday, then the Nuggets 113-100 Sunday night. It was also a very off night for Orlando's shooters, as Paolo Banchero went 4 of 17 and Cole Anthony went 4 of 13. Although the loss was very frustrating, Coach Mosley was still proud of his team's fight, being shorthanded and going through a very tough stretch of their schedule.
I'd be lying to you if I said it was not, if it wasn't difficult. And it is. And these guys are giving everything they have in these moments for what they have. And so they played an amazing first half, I think, despite the circumstances, whether we're making shots or missing shots, whether we do a better job of defending without fouling, us attacking the basket the right way. And sometimes calls are going to go your way, sometimes they're not. But I thought our level of aggression and focus and game plan discipline in that first half was fantastic.
It's 45 degrees at 3 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the quarterback whisperer, Denny Thompson.
Okay, bring it in.
Brought to you by Tyson Sound and Security, security and automation experts, and George Moore Chevrolet.
1, 2, 3.
3 o'clock hours here on a Monday. We got our quarterback whisperer hanging out with us. We're going to talk NFL divisional round football, onto the AFC and NFC championship games, and to the Natty tonight in college football. Joe C., along with our head coach, Dave Campo. And Denny, how you doing, bro?
Man, I'm good. Beautiful day.
Yeah, it's cold.
A little cold this morning. Right now, we were out there catching. We had draft prep going on. We didn't have receivers show up today for some reason. Maybe
holler at me. I got good hands.
Maybe the receivers. So I was out there catching. Yeah, and that's not ideal.
If I had to catch, I would have to have like 3 pairs of gloves on each hand.
Do you remember Mr. Deeds? Remember that movie, Mr.
Yeah.
Deeds?
Yeah.
Remember his foot?
Yeah.
That's basically
frostbite.
That's basically my hands
How
now. My
big?
hands are so numb after the years of catching that I don't feel anything anymore.
And the catch that was made by, who was it, Sam Laporta? What an unbelievable catch. Was it him? I'm trying to remember.
Yes, it was Sam
where he
Laporta.
hauled it. It was just such a great
Okay.
catch.
I am going to say one thing about these catches, though. These gloves.
Oh, they got the grip.
Hold on. Mixed with the way that everybody's prepping these balls now, it's not the same as it was 20 years ago.
Right.
I mean, these balls are a little easier to catch because they've got pine tar. They got a bunch of stuff on these balls now.
So anyone who's old school, and Coach can certainly remember this with his decades of coaching, when guys would walk around with the stickum on their hand, and they look like they were either a grease mechanic or a wide receiver. You know, one would be mistaken for the other. And it just like glop and goo everywhere. Now it's built into the ball and built into the glove.
Yeah, so kind of the way the ball's conditioned, it just makes it a little bit – you're not throwing brand new balls anymore. I know back in the day when they used to take them out, things were hard as a rock and like hurt when you caught it. And, I mean, now these things look like they've been played with for a year.
Yeah. All right. So,
but still a hell of a catch.
Yeah, it was great. So let's just talk quarterbacks, generally speaking, coming out of these football games that we watched, because we had 8 teams. I just mentioned it as you were coming in, and we were teasing the fact that if you take a look at the highest paid quarterbacks in the National Football League, and Trevor Lawrence is among them, you've got to get to where your superstars that are getting paid all that cash, all that cake, are actually around when these big games matter. So how about this? The top 8 highest paid NFL quarterbacks. Dak Prescott, not there. Trevor, not there. Burrow, Love, Tua, Herbert, and then Goff and Lamar were the only 2 that were there this divisional round.
Yeah, but those are all guys who just recently in the last 2 years got their deals done. Yeah, I mean, you look at when Josh comes up, when Pat comes up, which I'm sure is soon. I'm sure that deal's going to have to get redone at some point soon.
Yes.
I mean, it's going to be astronomical figures. We're getting to a time where if this thing continues the way it is, good quarterbacks will make $1 billion in the league.
Yeah.
It will happen.
It's hard to imagine. There was a time when accumulated wealth, Tiger was the first guy that went over $1 billion, and then he went through divorce proceedings, and that was suddenly cut in half. But he went over $1 billion, and now you're talking about contracts that could be worth.
Yeah, I mean, you just start doing the math, and some of these deals now are averaging out to, they're going to be $65, $70 million in 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if that continues to go up, you play 10 years.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be close to $1 billion.
That's going in every sport. I mean, a guy like Soto, for example, gets $700 million. Well, he's heading that direction. If he keeps going, they'll have to redo that deal probably.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the right business at the right time, and I'm very, very thankful for that. I mean, the money around the quarterback position, to your point, is astronomical because everybody knows it goes around the quarterback. I mean, it's just what it is.
And heck, last week we were talking about how a Carson Beck could stay in college and make more than a Brock Purdy is making in the National Football League. Now he's also set to cash a pretty big ticket as well coming up. All right, so let's just hit these games just individually. We had 2 on Saturday. Kansas City and Houston open it up. Coach and I have been talking about C.J. Stroud all of a sudden just looking down and going, I've got legs, like Eddie Murphy in Trading Places, and he's starting to move a lot more and making defenses stress a little bit. Mahomes has a lot of rushing yards in the postseason because he stresses defenses out. So anyway, let's spend a minute on the quarterbacks that we saw over the weekend.
Yeah, I think it's pretty interesting when you start to look at the way this thing's playing out really throughout the whole season. As you look at guys like Josh Allen, you look at guys like Patrick Mahomes, and they will have their big games. But these guys just figured out what you're trying to do to them, and they're just winning football games, whether that means they're going to throw the ball 12 times or that means they're going to throw the ball 55 times. They always get their guys in the right play, and their teams execute. And if you can do those 2 things, you can win any game in any condition, right? If you've got the right play call and you execute, Coach, you can't stop that.
No, that's Troy Aikman, guys.
Right.
Yeah.
He's in
Right.
the Hall of Fame because that's exactly what he did.
And we're taking stats away because why does Pat Mahomes need stats, right? Don't forget looking at the stats.
Rings.
Just watch him play the game.
Yeah.
And it's however I've got to make this play to win this play, I'm going to do it.
Coach and I were talking about this earlier. He invites contact. Like some invite blitz, meaning you come at me and I will burn you. He wants you to get all the way to his mug to where he might be able to get a flag on top of the play. It's crazy what he does.
Yeah, that's a whole different subject. But I mean, even like I enjoyed watching Josh Allen because there was probably a throw that nobody's going to talk about in this game back of the end zone. And when I went back and I looked at it, I saw a different angle on social media later. Coach, when he threw the ball, the guy was covered. And by my estimation, he was going left to right, the back of the end zone, about 20 yards from where the ball ended up.
Yeah.
And just the amount of skill and trust in your arm that you have to have, because at this point, that's a big play in the game, to even think about making that throw, but then to not only make it, but absolutely dime it. It's incredible what these guys are doing with the football now. And I think it's also interesting. In college, we've seen a huge drop-off at the receiver position, ton of drops, all that kind of stuff. Not in the NFL. These guys are making unbelievable contested catches every time the ball's thrown to them. It's the good teams just have it firing on all cylinders, execution.
I've got a question for you. You know, we were talking earlier, and I believe that I'm right on this. You're in the quarterback business, obviously. You're the guy to ask this question. When you're determining who you're going to work with, in other words, you have that ability, right? If some kid says to you, I want you to work, you could say, no, I've got too much whatever.
Right.
Are you looking more for the future of a guy that can run, that's athletic, as opposed to a guy that looks real good and big and great arm and all those kind of things? Is that in your mind when you're getting clients or whatever you're
I think funny enough, the quarterback position has gone the way of the other positions in that I know for me personally, when I'm looking at whether it's a young guy or a college guy and they come in and want an evaluation, I'm looking at traits.
Yeah.
And whatever that trait is, like it can be they're super twitchy and sudden. It can be they're fast. It can be that the ball just comes out of their hand differently than it comes out of anybody else's. And then that's kind of what we make that decision on is, and I'm sure the NFL is the same way, right? It's okay. Yeah, this kid is really, really good, but he's got these three things that mean that he's not even close to the top of where he can be. Mm-hmm. And if we can buy into that and we can train into those things that are his weaknesses because he does these two things better than anybody else we've seen, then he's going to be a superstar. And that's what you look for. I'm not looking for refined right now. In a lot of cases, that means you've hit your ceiling right now. Mm-hmm. I want to see just raw power. What can you do that nobody else can do? Because you got to beat Pat Mahomes. And average ain't going to beat Pat Mahomes.
Bottom line.
Not going to beat him.
Yep.
So you got to do something spectacular, and then we've got to build onto that to make it the best in the world at what you do.
See, this is where I have an issue, okay? Because when you look at, I'll give you an example. I just did an interview with the person that's presenting Darren Woodson for the Hall of Fame, okay? The thing that's holding him back is he didn't have a super amount of interceptions. He has everything else. As a matter of fact, Jimmy Johnson talked to the same person that's interviewing Shereen Williams.
Mm-hmm. Very smart.
Jimmy said, all you have to do is watch him play. Well, her comment was, to me, the problem with the Hall of Fame voters of today, the young voters, is all they look at are statistics.
Mm-hmm.
They don't look at
metrics.
whether a guy plays like Troy Aikman.
How he affects the game.
And that's what you're saying.
Yes.
When you look at a guy, you're looking at the traits that give him an opportunity to do those things, not necessarily that in high school he threw for 3,000 yards. You may not take that guy as a client.
A lot of times, if you go to a lot of cities, the city's leading passer is not even that highly recruited.
Right, because you can see the traits in the kid. That's where the Hall of Fame voters or the statistics.
It's really interesting. Because you take a guy like Brock Purdy, who we obviously have known and worked very closely with. When we talk about traits, Coach, like people think physical traits, but there's mental traits as well.
Mahomes,
and even Woodson, right? Like Woodson's maybe one of the best examples for the defensive side of the ball. Is like that guy's going to get you in the right play.
Absolutely.
And if you're not in the right play, he's going to know where your weakness is, and he's going to fix it.
Yeah, that's right.
And when you've got something like Brock has, he knows, all right, we're in a good play, but here's what can happen. And he's so good at adjusting to that kind of stuff on the fly and fixing what's wrong if he can't get you in the right play or if the defense wins. And that is a trait. When I talk about traits, that is a trait. I believe this. Statistics do matter a little bit in the NFL, but the only statistics that really matter at the core positions is wins and losses.
Yeah, dubs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and we had the same thing. The young scouts today, in my opinion, you're an exception, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I think the young scouts today put too much emphasis on things that are not about does he win?
Like the measurables, just the very strict.
All the measurables and all that stuff. The old-time scouts looked at guys like, hey, we get him in here. He's tough. He's physical. He's this. He's that.
And that's sad because we finally have metrics now. We have enough data now between cognitive testing and motion capture and film. And there's all these great football minds, especially in an area like this. And we can call on 1 million people, right, to come help. We have metrics now that say, wait, this guy's different.
Yeah.
Right? He's different in this area. You should lean into this.
Yeah.
But the statistics, to Coach's point, if you're a scout or you're a college recruiter and you go back to your college with some guy that don't have very good stats and it's your word that he's got these traits,
that's
your
true.
job is on the line. The safe play is production.
Heart rate goes up a little bit.
And let me tell you something. Yeah. That was Jimmy Johnson to the T.
Yeah.
Jimmy Johnson, all he did ask us when we came off the road, because we knew what a player was supposed to look like. All he said was, how big is he? How fast is he?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah. Because you could write all that other stuff up.
He didn't care about anything else but that.
But it's got to be the combo, okay?
Yep.
It's I always say hardware and software.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's what's in you and what you can. And just the coach's point about being in love with stats, Dan Marino's 48 touchdown passes with the rules the way they were versus today's 48 touchdown passes, it's entirely different.
A whole different game.
Yeah. All right. So the other thing, we got this in the YouTube chat and on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, just kind of talking about getting the right coach for Trevor. If Ben Johnson is enamored with Chicago, Caleb Williams on a rookie contract, is that better? Does he have better tools? Because whoever this coach is wants to come in to wherever he's going to come in, and he wants to succeed with the best piece of clay that he thinks he can get his hands on. So let's answer that coming up here.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Let's answer that coming up in just a second, and then we'll get to the national championship game tonight. Who does Denny like? We got the quarterback whisperer with us. It is XL Primetime and a Mokama Beer Company Monday.
Traffic stinks.
No, wait a minute. I know what that smell is.
The Frangie Show doesn't.
You're absolutely right.
The Frangie Show.
Go on out and play in the traffic.
Your afternoon traffic deodorant.
Smells super.
On 1010XL.
Seminole Hard Rock Tampa is excited to bring you live craps, roulette, and sports betting. All under one roof, hotter than the Florida sun. Feel the luck of the dice, watch the roulette wheel spin, and scream for your touchdown as the big screen comes alive. Dine like a rock star, sip cocktails that shimmer, then dive into the heart of Las Vegas right here in Tampa Bay. Live craps, roulette, sports betting is here. Get in on the action now. Only at Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Tampa, located off of I-4 near I-75. Gambling problem? Call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
I'm Chris Campione. In a world of big box law firms with satellite offices, there's something special about having a local legal team that cares about you and your community. We're not just lawyers, we're your neighbors. We understand the unique challenges facing the Jacksonville community because we live here too. At Campione Law, Campione Cares isn't just a tagline, it's our commitment to you. Campione Law, your trusted lawyers after an accident. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione, Campione Law.
Mike Dempsey here. Look, it's been 10 years that I've been vouching for my guys at Dandy Boots, and for a decade, I'm proud of my association with a local family business. They make a great product. I've made no secret that I was a customer long before Dandy ever came on board on 1010XL. But I'm thinking I'm due a little Dandy swag, maybe a little love. How about a Dandy t-shirt, a ball cap? So how about it, Thompson family. What do you got going on over there? In the meantime, I'm going to keep eating those delicious tuna salad sandwiches. So, guys, keep helping me out and grab a dandy sandwich today.
Don't ignore plumbing leaks. They can lead to mold and mildew or structural damage and drain your wallet. So when you have a leak and can't wait a week, call Roland Reich Plumbing. PlumbingJacksonville.com.
If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it worse. Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road. My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
Don't go through another year with all that high-interest debt. Let Loan Pronto wipe it all out now. Hey, it's Prosser here, and Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan makes it easy to pay off all your credit cards or tackle that 2025 home improvement project. Get cash in your pocket fast. No appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's AI-driven tech gets you approved and funded in as little as 1 day. One client got $150,000 approved in under 24 hours, paid off all their credit cards, 2 cars, and personal loans, saving over $1,500 per month. With low fixed rates and lightning fast transfers, you can do it too. Consolidate debt, improve your home, take control of your finances. Imagine being credit card debt-free by this time next week. You can. Don't wait. Call Loan Pronto now, 904-999-1508, or visit loanpronto.com. Get your free quote now with no hard credit pull at 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Grinding out good grades can be just as challenging as winning games. That's why 1010XL salutes the Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists and the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234. Wednesdays on The Frangie Show.
Denny Thompson here. Tyson Sound and Security has a huge prize sweepstakes now through the big game. I'm talking a 75-inch loaded Samsung TV with 3D surround sound, a sound bar with wireless subwoofer, and installation is included. Stop by the new showroom, check out the setup, and drop your name in the box for your chance to win the $2,500 prize now through February 9th. Tyson Sound and Security now at 3555 U.S. Highway 17 in Fleming, Iowa.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. By now, everyone has heard about saving money on their energy bills. There are all sorts of things you can do to cut energy costs, but most people don't think about their windows.
But Window World knows that the biggest energy loss in almost every home is the windows. There is more energy loss from old builder-grade windows than just about anything else in your home.
You can upgrade your heating and air, your appliances. That's good too. But before you do all that, upgrade your windows to Window World's energy-efficient windows.
Window World's windows are easy to clean, energy efficient, and have the best guarantee in the business.
Window World's slogan is simply the best for less, and we mean it. You get great American-made windows, and you get to keep more of your money when you buy from Window World. Need any more reasons to buy your windows from Window World? Call them today and set up your free in-home estimate, or go online to windowworldneflorida.com.
Window World, simply the best for less.
Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
This is Hayes Carline here to help you break free from the chains of pest infestation. The talk of this town is Kingfish Pest Control. By now, many of your neighbors have already joined the Kingfish Revolution, leaving their homes and lawns protected and pest-free. Now it's your turn. Call Kingfish Pest Control and say goodbye to termites, ants, mosquitoes, and other annoying pests. Trust me, you'll get exceptional service and understand why your neighbors and I use Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jaguars.
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Frangie for Ricketts Electric. Now, any good lineup needs power. When I needed a power connection for our new Walk-Off Charities baseball park, I found the perfect partner in Ricketts Electric. You're going to love these guys, I'm telling you. The Ricketts family has been providing commercial and residential electric service for years. So call my buddy Zach Ricketts today at 904-320-5960, and you can find them on Facebook as well. You will trust them. That's Ricketts Electric, the city's best power connection. Call them today at 320-5960.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. The Weekend Rewind, brought to you by Cycles of Jacksonville, the big boy toy store for big boy toys.
What happened this weekend?
Andrews has the game from hell.
He'll roll, flip it, got it! Oh, the ball was dropped! He had the two-point conversion in his hands! Andrews did not hold on, just had a drop as well earlier, and for the game to go possibly to overtime.
Pat cannot be stopped.
Mahomes steps up, throws, and he got it! Touchdown, Kelsey!
Barkley is still running in the snow.
118 yards, and adding to it. There goes Barkley into the clear, through the snow, all the way home. He's hit another home run against the Rams, and this one might send them to the championship game.
The Lions are still the Lions.
Oh, look at this for three. Jameson Williams has it. Look at the throw. Intercepted.
JJ just drug me through the mud right there. The weekend rewind, cycles of Jacksonville. If your weekend, well, kind of like what I'm talking about, if it was a loser, make sure you find fun in their showroom right there on Atlantic near Regency, or log on cyclesofjacksonville.com. More than anything else, though, when you hear the play-by-play fellas, it's so electric. It really is. And Shady McCoy, I think the way the story goes, you might have been talking about this, Coach, that Shady McCoy said, hey, Saquon, call me. I got the code on how to run in the snow, what to do, yada, yada, yada. And obviously he put on a show.
I love that running backs are making a comeback right now.
Gosh.
NFL's better with good running backs. And, you know, I know we're going to talk about the coaching thing, but I think if you're an NFL head coach and you watch those games this weekend, you know if your team can compete in that. Like, am I right, Coach? Like, if you're really being real and you've got a team and you're watching those games and how physical they are and the elements and the type of ball you're forced to play, like, you know if your team can stand a chance in that.
Yeah.
And if it can't, that's probably not a great feeling, because that's traditionally what you have to go through.
Mm-hmm.
It's much different than the regular season is my point.
Yeah, I think the running game's coming back, and we're talking earlier. I don't know if you heard the segment, but I think that the thing that is going to make Trevor Lawrence well is the running game. You've got to get the fronts taken care of on both sides of the ball in order to win in this league, especially with what you just said. When you get into, if you got to go to Buffalo, or you got to go to Kansas City, or you got to go to Philadelphia, you better have a physical up front group that can make things happen. And that's the teams that have the best shot right now.
And I'm still a little surprised that Doug Peterson didn't accomplish that, because he's known as a personnel guy. Like, he can throw some personnel groupings out there that force you. But to Coach's point, doesn't matter what personnel you put out there if those five up front can't block.
And his offensive line in Philly was stout. Okay, that was chock full of some
creatures.
Yeah, we're talking Peters, Johnson, Kelsey. We're talking
Hall of Famers,
HOFers.
Yeah,
and so it is a mystery. It really is, and it's another reason why I think maybe Balky submarined his rear end with a lousy offensive line. So in the chat and on the text, they're saying you got to build these lines. To Coach's point, nothing else is going to happen. But you said something kind of interesting, Denny, during the break. Is that as good as Detroit's front is, offensive line, Washington worked them.
Washington is that team that I don't watch much of, and I was half watching, doing some work.
Yeah.
But every time I looked up, I'm like,
whoa.
They're making every tackle. They're physical. Their gap responsibility is solid. It's like they're just a really well coached football team that there's a bunch of dudes that have bought in.
Mm-hmm.
And that rookie quarterback's probably got a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
But they got a good roster full of guys that's bought in. I don't think this is a fluke. I think they're here for a little while.
And to be in comparison, I personally think we did way too much this year with this football team on defense. Talking defense, Dan Quinn's about like we used to be back in the day. Here's what we're going to do. They know we're going to do it, but we're going to make sure we don't make a mistake, because it goes back to it's not how many great plays you make. It's how many bad ones you avoid.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you're looking at Washington. They're not making mistakes.
That is such a good point. I am interested to see how that holds up against a Mahomes or something, should they get that opportunity.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting. Philly, I feel like you can compete being that way. It is pure execution, right? But then you get Allen and Mahomes who see this game a little bit differently, and you can have something covered up and they find that little sliver of space. and now your execution isn't what it was. I'm very interested to see if they make it there, how that holds up.
That Rams defense busted up Sam Darnold. Okay, they black-eyed him. They made him look like he was seeing ghost again, and they killed it. They go up to Philly. We all know the snow had a major impact on this game, but Jalen Hurts is not operating the way I think Philly fans would like to see him operate. He still was able to bust off a nice run and score, and they ended up winning the ball game. But L.A. got to him multiple times, and it looked like they were on the ropes. And then Saquon busts off that big run like you're talking about.
I mean, it's a common theme, I think, for just about everybody at this point is you look at these 4 teams left, and while the quarterbacks are superstars, they haven't had 350-yard games. They've just done what they needed to do. I mean, we're going to go back to that. They're just winning football games. You get to this point in the season where the Pro Bowls have been voted on and MVP has already been determined and all that kind of stuff. And now it's just only about winning football games. That's all that matters right now.
All right, so spend the last couple of minutes on the one football game that's left in college. And Will Howard has done a good job. And Chip Kelly, Matt said it earlier on our show that it, at least to his mind, is that Ryan Day and Chip Kelly said, we don't need to bring everything out of the bag right away. It's going to be a longer season. Let's figure out a way to develop this offense. Will Howard has definitely thrived. They've outscored their opponents 111 to 52 in 3 semifinal or 3.
What they figured out is pretty simple, and there's genius and simplicity on this. The offense runs through number 4, and whatever the defense adjusts to on number 4 means what you're going to do, and you just have an option off of that. And if they're going to try to play him one-on-one, you get the ball to 4.
And Jeremiah Smith
that's just what you do. Yeah. And at some point in this playoffs, they figured that out. And if you're going to one-on-one or you're going to kind of leverage him and leave the inside or outside in one-on-one, they're going to him. And they've got a running back that if you don't have a good box count, he can make you pay. And I think they simplified to the point of if you double team 4 and your box count is this, we still got other 2 receivers that are one-on-one that can beat you.
Yeah. And in those situations, then Travion Henderson gets loose.
Yeah.
When Sean Junkins gets loose.
It's tough.
And Will Howard has legs, okay? He is a RPO guy who can make plays. So I just like the intensity, the accountability on the defensive side for Notre Dame, Coach. You think that they can do something to run down these plays quicker than others have?
Well, they have 3 corners that can play, in my opinion. So it's going to come down to how well the front gets after Will Howard, as far as if you're talking defense.
Yeah.
Now, I think they play – just like Matt said earlier, they kind of got the Washington. Washington kind of has the same mentality. They just play their tails off, and they feel like they're pretty darn good. They got good confidence and all that. I think it'll come down to the pressure because I think their corners, everybody that plays has doubled.
Smith, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know that they have to do that every single play with the group that they have on the back end, as long as they're putting some pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah.
But when they do double him, they have some guys that can cover on the other guys. So.
Yeah, it's got to. I mean, I think Notre Dame has a chance if they win the situational football battle.
Yeah.
You got to get these. You got to get Ohio State. You can't let them get to 2nd and 3. Can't let them get to 3rd and 1. Like you have to make these obvious passing situations to where you can pin your ears back and you can double 4 and you can man-on-man the other 2.
Right.
And then you got a chance. Yeah. And then even then, bring some pressures occasionally, right? Watch the screen games. And if you can do that, then I think they've got a real chance. I'm pulling for Notre Dame. Just simply because I don't know if y'all have heard, but I'm a Miami fan for a year, and that's the first game, and so I want the defending national champions at Miami. But I don't. I think Ohio State. I think they control it.
If you were a real Miami fan, you wouldn't be cheering for Notre Dame.
That's right. I hate Notre Dame.
I'm not a real Miami fan.
It is funny because I've heard more people say I'm rooting for Notre Dame, and they look at themselves like, did I just say that? Did that just come out of my mouth? Because it's more anti-Buckeye.
I'm a convict. A convict.
Yeah. Catholics versus
I'm not a Catholic. I'm a convict.
But it's funny because we were joking about Riley Leonard's stat line. It was Bodish. It was Blake Bortles against Buffalo, where he had more rushing yards than throwing yards, had less than 100 yards in the air, and Riley Leonard did some of the same stuff in his playoff win. I think he had 90 yards running, 80-some yards passing. I just can't see that beating Ohio State, so it's going to have to be turnover-driven, is my guess. And Jeremiah Love.
Yeah, I think
the
this
other
is
Jeremiah.
this is obviously in a dome. artificial turf, the whole thing, right? So I mean, we're not gonna see like we saw this weekend. The number that Notre Dame would have to stay under to win this game, I think, is hard.
Yeah, and then really don't let them get 2 scores up on you,
right?
Or else you're done.
Right. I mean,
you got to have things go your way in order.
What is that number? Like they'd have to keep under what, 21?
20. Yeah, I was going to say 20, but 21 probably.
Yeah, and I just don't know how you do that.
No, too much firepower on the other side, I think.
Yeah.
So,
they need snow. Notre Dame needs this game to be in Philadelphia.
Yeah, unfortunately, they're not going to get it.
Right.
It's funny because I was taking a look at some of the talent that both sides have, and there's going to be a lot of draftable talent that's coming out of this game tonight, not just Ohio State side. Denny, all right, good stuff, man. At Denny_Thompson, make sure you check him out. As he said, a Miami fan for a year.
Yeah. Hey, come on in.
It's fine with me.
All right, we'll talk
boys.
to you later. All right,
See
Quarterback
you,
Whisperer out. We got a little bit more with our show, including Marcus Freeman, the speech he made to get to this game. Will it be enough? Will he be that type of coach tonight, inspiring his team to an upset win over the Buckeyes?
The NBA is on 1010XL.
Orlando travels to Jurassic Park for an evening matchup with the Raptors. Tuesday night at 7 on 1010 a.m.
What's happening, fellas? It's your boy E to the T here, and it's a brand new year, which means a brand new you, especially in the bedroom. So if you're ready to make 2025 the year to level up where it counts, let me make it a little easier for you. Get yourself some Blue Chew. They've got a chewable tablet that has the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, Levitra, and Staxin. That means you're getting top-tier performance, my boy, without leaving the house. Blue Chew comes right to your front door in a discreet package, so your neighbors won't even know what's going on. But you will. No doctor's offices and no pharmacy run. Just licensed medical providers helping you find the right prescription. And guess what? They're made right here in the USA. Oh, and did I mention it's free? Yeah, you heard me. Your first month is free. So what you waiting for? Visit BlueChew.com and get a consultation. And start your year off with confidence to keep things interesting in that bedroom. Get that Blue Chew at BlueChew.com, baby. Let's make this year unforgettable.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family-owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Mia here. It's the Everything's on Sale going on now at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. Get $0 down and just $288 per month for a pre-owned 2022 Toyota Corolla. Or you choose a pre-owned 2021 Camry, RAV4, or Tacoma for $0 down and only $388 per month. Or how about no payments till July 2025? And you get 60 days to love your purchase or exchange it. Shop the Everything's on Sale at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned today. 10939 Atlantic Boulevard at arlingtontoyota.com.
Frank Frangie here for Bono's Pit Barbecue. It's cold outside, and the best way to stay warm this winter is with the new Bono's limited time offer, a signature Bono's barbecue sandwich paired with your choice of savory super chili, starting at just $11.99. Your choice of a pulled pork, smoked turkey, smoked sausage, char-grilled chicken, or beef brisket sandwich, plus a bowl of a hot, delicious soup or chili. You can't beat that deal, so hurry into Bono's. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist is now offering ortho walk-in appointments. If you have an immediate need for orthopedic care, contact Southeast Orthopedic Specialist immediately. Avoid ERs and urgent care waiting rooms. For more information, go to se-ortho.com.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
This State in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On January 20th, 1967, Philadelphia 76ers Wilt Chamberlain makes all 15 of his field goal attempts in a win over the Lakers to set the NBA record for consecutive shots made.
Before the Great American Race on Sunday, the high banks of Daytona heat up with a Saturday night showdown in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Experience the intense competition up close on the sport's biggest stage to kick off the 2025 season. The NASCAR Xfinity Series at Daytona International Speedway, Saturday, February 15th. Tickets start at just $49, and kids 12 and under are free in general admission. Secure your seats now at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
Hey, sports fans, it's Hayes Carline from MyBookie. It's win now or go home. The NFL playoffs are the ticket to the biggest game of the year, and all roads lead to New Orleans. The NCAA playoffs will set the stage, but this is your chance to get in on every high-stakes moment along the way. Your road to New Orleans starts now with MyBookie. MyBookie is the ultimate destination for bettors who want more. Whether you're backing the underdogs or riding with the favorites, every drive, every touchdown, every moment is an opportunity to win big. Kick off your 2025 right with risk-free Thursdays. Place a bet. If it doesn't hit, MyBookie has your back. Dive into the Bet Boost tab to supercharge your picks and build that bankroll before the big game. The action doesn't stop. MyBookie's online casino keeps the excitement going 24/7. If you haven't joined yet, now's the time. Use promo code 1010XL on your first deposit, and MyBookie will hook you up with an instant bonus because you deserve to start strong.
New year, new beginnings, and a new roof. Start 2025 with peace of mind and take advantage of Universal Roof and Contracting's limited time offer. 15% off all roof repairs and replacements. From leaks to full replacements, call 855-ROOF-HELP or visit universalroof.com to schedule your free roof inspection today. This special New Year deal ends January 31st. Universal Roof and Contracting, protecting your home and building your trust. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
Pickett here for Bout 9 Associates, where you'll find Jacksonville's most esteemed eye doctors at each of their locations. After being selected for one of the most competitive ophthalmology fellowships in the world, Dr. Frank Bowden is frequently called upon for his expert opinion. He is currently one of the few cornea and external disease specialists in the area and the founder of Bout 9. Visit Bout 9 Associates today and experience the difference. Bout 9 Associates, keeping the First Coast focused.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Just breaks my heart to read this to all of Duval. Just breaks my heart. I wanted a Johnson in Jacksonville so bad. Adam Schefter reporting. Bear down. Chicago is finalizing a deal to hire Lions offensive coordinator Ben Johnson as its next head coach. Sources tell ESPN Bears are getting their man. Oh, my gosh. Not good. First reaction when you heard the news, Coach?
I didn't have a clear favorite. I mean, I think there's some other guys in that group that might be even a little bit better with the ability to run the football and do some of those kind of things, understanding that importance of that. So, I guess if everybody thinks, I don't look at just what the coordinator's done. I'm looking forward to seeing who they actually make the decision on.
Well, we press on. We move from Ben Johnson to who knows who, Aaron Glenn, Liam Cohen. I don't want to say Robert Saleh. I don't want to say that just yet, JJ. Not saying it just yet. A good defensive mind, but I don't know if he's ready to return after getting bounced out of the Big Apple to another head coaching gig in this short amount of time.
Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
I've got a couple of cool downs. One is I'm excited about the game tonight. I think that this is going to be one of those where it's going to be super talent against a lot of heart.
Mm-hmm. Good way to put it.
It's almost like the Detroit game, to be honest with you, the Detroit Redskins game. So I'm looking forward to a heck of a battle.
Commanders
and see what happens. The Commanders.
Yeah.
My other takeoff is, guys, listen. Every time you draft somebody, or every time you hire a head coach, you don't know who you're getting and what the final outcome is going to be. So relax, go to the next guy, and let's move forward with the Jaguars.
I think and I'll agree with you because I think I wanted Ben Johnson. There's no secret there. But I think what you're trying to do now, and let's just say it like it is, Trent Baalke is holding up a great opportunity for someone to walk into Duval and right this ship. Okay? There is concern, enough noise in the system when it comes to potential head coaches out there that are going, do I want to walk into that or can I go somewhere else? And in the case of Chicago, while they have their own messes that they've made, trading up and blowing a handful of drafts with what they've done, be it drafting Mitch Trubisky, be it going and drafting Justin Fields, somewhere in between that, taking $25 million contract off the hands of the Jags by signing Nick Foles. We can go on and on and on, from Matt Nagy to Matt Eberflus. They have not made good decisions up in Chicago. But at the same time, if Ben Johnson is looking at it, familiarity with the division, which is what we talked about, and then Caleb Williams on a rookie contract with a rookie wide receiver as well in Rome Odunze. So there's things to like there. I would have loved to have seen him come here. And so now you got to look to the next, like you're saying, Aaron Glenn, does he represent the same aptitude and attitude to come in and fashion a football team? Well, his defense stunk on Saturday, but that doesn't mean anything. You made the point earlier that Dan Quinn, the last time you saw him coaching a defense, they got their butts handed to him in Dallas. And then he ended up leaving, and look where they are now. They were able to put together an unbelievable collection of talent right now. Cliff Kingsbury is now looking like another type of guy that you wouldn't have. People view Cliff Kingsbury differently right now than they did in his years in Arizona. They really do. They look at him like, dang, man, I'd like to have him come coach our football team.
Yeah, the problem with Cliff Kingsbury, in my opinion, is that I think he's a perfect example of he's a better play caller than he is a head coach.
Might be.
Because, you look at his style, it's different than everybody else's. They put those guys out there. Mm-hmm. If you put 3 out there, he runs the ball. If you got 2 out there, he throws it out there. Mm-hmm. Well, that's okay, but you still, you got to have some guys that can make plays when you do that.
And you got to construct a football team. You got to run an organization. Yeah. And so for the guys that are left, I really don't know which one of them rises to the top to where you say, okay, now that's my guy. I like the attitude and personality of Aaron Glenn, but I don't know a whole heck of a lot more than what you have told me, what I have seen and observed. He is a guy that is very popular with his players. Kirby Joseph on a podcast with Ari Mara last week was just gushing about how he said, this guy made me a man, not just a football player. And there's a lot of good in Glenn, but can he come in and run a football team? We don't know until someone gives him a shot. Same thing with any of these other guys.
Yeah.
Salah's a retread because of what happened up in New York. Liam Cohen, L.A., Lexington, Tampa. I don't know how qualified he is. I look at his coaching. I had his coaching numbers pulled up here a little earlier. He's kind of bounced back and forth.
Yeah.
He's done good things off of what he did, off of what Baker and company did down there. He's responsible for the offense. He gets a lot of credit there. He was offensive coordinator this year in Tampa. He was offensive coordinator in 2023 and 2024 in Kentucky, and then quarterbacks coach before that. And in between those two stops, did you give it to me, quarterbacks coach or assistant?
Well, no, he was
LA?
Actually the last one. He was a coordinator for LA in 22, and then he jumped to Kentucky.
Yeah.
So it had to be about money, in my opinion, one way or the other. Then he went back there, so here's the whole deal for me. I think the Jaguars have put together a pretty good diversified group of interviews.
Mm-hmm.
You got some young offensive coordinators. You got some older offensive coordinator in Monken. You've got an ex-head coach, 2 ex-head coaches.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a young defensive coach in Aaron Glenn,
mm-hmm.
and the kid from Vegas. And then, and Flores, okay?
Yeah, Brian
And then-
Flores, yeah.
Then you got an old-timer in Spagnuolo. Spagnolo.
If you watch what Spags did the other day to the Houston Texans, there's a lot that you can see and say, I'll take that.
And second time around.
Yeah.
So they've got a group that they can still work with. And I heard somebody earlier today on one of the shows, and guess what? I'm getting old. I can't remember even who it was, that was asked the question, who do you think of the group that's out there that can put the best staff together? And the guy said, Liam Cohen. And that's a big factor. And his association with some of the college coaches out there, because of his college deal, you can't get who exactly you want on the pro level because a lot of guys are under contract.
Right.
But if there are some good young college guys that have proven what they can do and you like them, you can get them right away. So he may be able to put the best staff together. Who knows?
I have to read this from Diana Rossini.
Yeah.
The Jaguars were also interested in Ben Johnson. Yes, we knew that. But she's saying, I was told the setup wasn't in line with what he was looking for in his first head coaching job.
And
So
I
that
can
just
see
smells like Trent.
Yeah, that's just what
I don't
want to
work with Trent.
Yeah, that's just what you needed to hear. It's going to be more fuel to the fire from the fans that don't understand. And heck, I'll throw myself in this group. Why would you let a guy that has not been successful at his job for a number of years and at a multitude of places, meaning more than one, and think that he's the guy that you're still going to leave in charge of this franchise?
Well, it's going to be a Trent Baalke guy. I can promise you that. It's not going to be – it's going to be somebody that he can work with. That's who it's going to be. And I don't know who that guy is.
Wow.
But I'm telling you that the general manager and the head coach have to be on the same page. And if you're bringing a guy in that has no experience with, that guy – I can see why Ben Johnson went in the other direction. I mean, if I got a chance to go in somebody I know, and obviously he must know the GM and feel like they're going to be on the same page.
Well, I may have to go for Joe Brady now. I may be a Brady backer now because if he can get his quarterback to throw for, 120-some yards and rush for 2 yards per carry and beat El Boogie, I may want that man right now. Let's find out what the Embedded and Shredded has to say.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. Find the coolest cats in town at coolcatsjacks.com.
Man. Hayes Carline joins us now. I thought that, I thought Jacksonville had a chance to land a Johnson.
They had a chance.
And all right, they had a chance, and then someone beat them with a more attractive position or situation.
Well, yeah, and I think Chicago showed that they're serious about winning, and the Jaguars, Shad Khan is not. Trent Baalke is above winning in the eyes of Shad Khan. That's clear. All he had to do was fire one guy, and everything would have been set up perfectly. And because of his reluctance to do that, for a general manager that's woefully under 500 and has a well-documented reputation around the league, I don't blame Ben Johnson. I mean, it just never made sense. It's like, okay, well, you're going to give me final say. That's great. Well, then why is he still here? Yeah. Why is he still here? And that's the thing that I think just never added up. And I think finally Ben Johnson was like, look, if he's going to, if he's going to still be in the equation here, even if it's in somewhat of a different role, what does that say to me? Yeah. It says that this owner cannot move off of this guy. And again, why would I enter into that? And so, yeah, it's incredibly disappointing. I feel terrible for the fans because, again, this last month has just revealed how Shad Khan is just not serious about the Lombardi Trophy at all. I mean, he'll spend. There is that. But in terms of how he prioritizes and how the people he chooses to put around him to guide this organization, complete failure.
Right.
And it's going to continue to be that. I mean, they're going to go probably hire Liam Cohen. And look, who may one day be great, but he doesn't have a resume ready to be a head coach.
No. No.
And it's just, and no one else wants him. But that's Jaguars football.
Yeah, in a nutshell. Shaw's not plugged into the passion of the fan base nearly enough to understand how vehemently they want to win, number one, but then also want to see that change inside the building to give them a chance to succeed. But the one thing, just to go back to what you said real quick, is that if you let two guys report directly to you, then you have no faith in the guy that you left in the building. You honestly don't. And why in the H would he let the guy stay in the building if he's telling you whoever we ultimately hire comes directly to me and bypasses you? That's a joke.
Yeah. I could totally agree. I'm very disappointed by this news because it felt like everything aligned really well for the Jaguars. And, and again, I will never understand why Shad Khan views Trent Baalke as this indispensable part of his football outfit. I just don't get why he is viewed that way. I'll never understand it. And unfortunately now, it's going to really hurt the fan base.
You guys will be hitting all of it.
All of it coming up on the Frangie Show.
All right, hey, sounds good, man. They have got you for the next couple of hours. Coach, thanks for hanging out with us the last couple of hours.
You got it.
We are done. Mokama Beer Company Monday. Listen to this one little line from Marcus Freeman as we go out. Enjoy the game tonight. Let's see if Notre Dame can give Ohio State a game. And don't forget Mokama.com. Log on and check out all their craft and all they've got to offer. Joe C., Dave Campo. We'll have Big Searcy and Maddie back with us. Manana.
Right, we got to be able to run the ball, right, and we got to stop the run. That's all it is, man. We ain't about to panic. Ain't no need to be nervous. It's a fight.
Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube.